My maintenance guys didn't know I spoke Spanish, so I caught them planning to steal from us. I was working from home when two maintenance guys showed up to fix my AC. Their name tags said Miguel and Carlos. The second they thought I wasn't paying attention, they started talking in Spanish. At first it was normal stuff. Miguel was complaining about overtime. Carlos was annoyed his kid's soccer game got rained out. I kept typing on my laptop, but I understood every word. My mom's from Mexico, and I grew up bilingual. People see my blonde hair and assume I only speak English, so they don't watch what they say. Then Miguel started looking around my apartment while he talked. In Spanish, he said, "Look at this place. This girl's loaded." He nodded at my laptop. "That thing's probably $2,000. Carlos laughed, then noticed my jewelry box on the dresser. "Designer stuff everywhere," he said. "These rich kids don't even know what they have." My stomach tightened, but I kept my face blank and kept tapping my keyboard. Miguel lowered his voice and said, "You know what we should do? These fancy buildings are perfect targets." Carlos paused and said, "What are you talking about?" Miguel replied, "We've got master keys. We know people's schedules. We see who's always home, who travels, who leaves packages outside their door." He jingled the key ring clipped to his belt like he was proud of it. Carlos glanced at my door chain and said, "There are cameras in the hall." Miguel snorted. "Cameras don't cover the stairwells on the older floors," he said. "And we do rounds. If we walk in like workers, no one questions it." Then he said, "We can even pick places from the work orders. If someone puts in a request for a leaky sink, we learn what they've got." Carlos shifted on his feet and said, "Man, I don't know." Miguel didn't stop. "We come back after hours and take small stuff," he said. "A necklace here, some cash there. They won't notice right away." He pointed at my coffee table where a bracelet was sitting and said, "See that? We make that in a month." Then he added, "I've been watching this building for weeks. The apartments are gold." Carlos tried to focus on the AC, but Miguel kept talking like he couldn't help himself. That's when he mentioned my neighbor. "The old lady in 3B, Miguel said in Spanish. "She's got a whole jewelry collection." My blood went cold. "Mrs. Lang is 78 and sweet, always bringing me cookies and asking about my work." Miguel said, "Old people don't notice what's missing, and she always talks about her memory problems. If something disappears, she'll think she lost it." Carlos muttered, "That's messed up," but he didn't tell Miguel to stop. I stopped typing. My fingers were shaking under the desk. I slid my phone into my lap and hit record. I turned my head like I was on a work call and kept the screen hidden. Miguel kept laying it out, step by step, like it was already decided. "Next week we hit this girl's place too," he said, looking right at my jewelry box. "Easy and quiet." Carlos whispered, "Stop. Someone could hear." Miguel shrugged and said, "She can't." They finished the repair, packed up their tools, and walked toward my door like nothing happened. I stood up and followed them. My heart was pounding so loud I thought they'd hear it. Right before Miguel reached the hallway, I said calmly in Spanish, "Thanks for fixing the AC. It works great." Both of them froze. Miguel's toolbox slipped from his hand and clanged on the floor. Carlos's face went pale. I held up my phone and said, still in Spanish, "I recorded all of it. Every word about using keys and coming back." Miguel stammered in English, "We were joking. It was just talk." I switched to English and said, "You picked my stuff out loud, and you talked about taking from an elderly woman. That's not a joke." Carlos backed toward the door and said, "Please, we didn't do anything." I pulled out a second phone and showed the email draft on the screen. "This is going to your company, building management, and the police," I said. Then I added, "And here's the part you really won't like." I said my full name and watched their eyes widen. "My mom owns this building," I told them. "You just plan to use your access to break into my apartment and Mrs. Lang's apartment." I opened the door and pointed to the hallway. "Leave now," I said. "You have 1 hour to report yourselves to your supervisor before I send this and call the police." They didn't argue. They grabbed their tools, stepped out fast, and practically ran down the hall. Now my neighbors are saying I overreacted by recording them. Was I wrong?